Hi everyone, back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. Definitely a rant, this one, and a really sad video to do. Really, it's all about Joelinton. I'm sure you've all seen the news now. I was all doing the rumour mill on X, and we never jump on and do reactions or get things off our chest about rumours. But it's obviously come out in the mainstream media now that the Joelinton, unfortunately, has become the latest victim of scumbag burglars targeting Premier League footballers' homes. Now, thankfully for Joelinton and his young family, because let's get this right. Joelinton is a footballer, yes. He's a father as well, and thank God that his children, his wife weren't at home, and these people broke in and decided to, violate the sanctity of his home. I fucking hate people like this. It really pisses me off, and that's why I wanted to come on and just talk a little bit about it. But Joe was obviously at the ground watching the game. He got a red alert on his phone. He had to go back and go back to the scene. I imagine the police had already been called there. There was a helicopter out, and the people involved had scrambled, 3 individuals apparently. But it's just the latest in that long line of footballers being targeted by scumbag thieves. Really, I mean, we don't get too political on this channel. We try not to, but there's too much of this going on just in everyday life as well. There's shit houses and scumbags walking into shops like fucking B&Ms and Home Bargains and helping themselves and running out the door because they know the police won't do anything about it because it's not over a certain value, and it just seems to be more and more this scumbaggery growing by the minute, really, just in terms of everyday life. But when it comes to these people, these are career criminals. These people that target the rich, the wealthy. And yes, footballers have, a lot of materialistic things, and they drive nice cars and they wear fancy watches and all that as well. But people have no rights to go and rob these people. I mean, some of the sickening things we've heard over the years, recently as well, players being held at knife point, their families being held at knife point, gun point in some cases. These people look to see when they're away games and target their homes, look to see when they're away in international duty or playing football tournaments and target their homes. And it's fucking vile, it's disgusting. Robbing people, thieving off people like this is the fucking lowest of the low. I was unfortunate to have a burglary on my house when I was a young kid. They stole my dad's car and joyrided it and smashed it up, and you feel violated because your home is where you should feel the most secure. It's where you look after your family, and there should be something sacred about anyone's home. And when these fucking rancid bastards break in and violate that sanctity, it's really, really sickening. And I'm so glad that Joe and his family weren't home, but let's just hope that nothing was taken of any sentimental value. Materialistic things can be replaced, regardless of what you earn. There's insurance policies that can do that, but if anything of real sentimental value is taken, anything from his young children or his wife or him, in terms of means more to them, it's invaluable, so to speak, that's even worse. And that just makes the whole thing even more tragically sad. But it's so sad that these footballers have been targeted. I mean, Jack Grealish got his house done over recently, I think, as well, didn't he? And to me, it just only increases the disconnect from players to your everyday fan. There's talk about Ben Chilwell's put his house up for sale in Surrey, I think, because he's worried about burglaries. And, yes, they're in gated premises and all that, but clearly if that's not secure enough in the likes of Darras Hall, they might end up moving away from the actual area itself, not living in the city anymore, not having that connect and travelling in for games, which many people have talked about, certainly for northern clubs like Newcastle, and not being in the region itself, or they'll be living in purpose-built complexes with 24/7 security on it, so this kind of thing can't happen again. And people won't see them going to the Costa Coffee or the local shop or whatever to get some sweets for their kids, which I'm sure a lot of people have done, the likes of Joe and people like that as well. He's probably popping that Sainsbury's at Ponteland quite a lot, I'd imagine, but people won't see that anymore because of this, and it's really, really sad. And I'm sad that this has happened to Joe and to everybody else as well. And I just hope that the coppers can find these fucking scumbags that do this and stop them trying to knock over anybody else's house. But that's my rant of the day on this one. These people are fucking scumbags, and they belong behind bars, and you've got no right to rob off anybody regardless of how wealthy you think they are. And be better, do better, and stop being a fucking arsehole, basically, is what I want to say about it. But that's my thought on this, guys. Have a good day wherever you are. I'm sure, like me, you're still getting over the heartbreaking defeat. As you can tell by my voice, I was screaming at the top of my lungs in the Leazer's End. So, yeah, we'll be back on What's Going On Monday night. Me and Mark will come and join us, and we'll have a bit more crack away from shit like this as well. And, yeah, like I say, thoughts are with Joe and his family. I hope his kids are all right, and I hope the coppers catch them responsible. Speak to you later, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.